Hi there, welcome back to our channel. Have you ever reached that moment in a relationship where you realize you're worth more than the emotional chaos you've endured? Have you ever found the strength to walk away, not out of anger, but from a place of wisdom? When a woman finally grasps that she's lost a man of true value, it hits her like an unrelenting wave, cold and brutal. But here's the key. This is the moment when you, as a high-value man, demonstrate the pinnacle of emotional control. The ancient Stoics, think Marcus Aurelius and Epicurus, left us with one undeniable truth. Emotional detachment is not weakness, it's strength. When a woman realizes you're no longer emotionally available, the real transformation begins. It's not just about losing you, it's the recognition that you don't need her to feel whole. This realization hits differently, and the journey it sparks for her is profound. Let's dive deep into her psyche and unravel the truths behind her emotional voyage. When she understands that she's lost someone as irreplaceable as you, the shock of losing. The shock of losing you. You. The first wave of emotion she experiences after you walk away isn't just a passing feeling, it's a profound shock, a tidal wave of realization that crashes into her, leaving her shaken. This isn't something she can brush off or compartmentalize. It's the unmistakable weight of losing something, irreplaceable, something that once brought her a sense of stability. Think about it. You were a consistent presence in her life. You weren't just any man. You were purposeful, grounded, and unapologetically yourself. You didn't chase after her validation or desperately seek for her attention. Instead, you stood firm in who you were, creating an unspoken sense of respect when you walked away. It wasn't because of anger or frustration. It was an act of self-respect, a declaration that you wouldn't tolerate emotional chaos or mistreatment. That's when the shock set in for her. She realized that you were no longer emotionally available, that the security she once felt in your presence was gone. Why does this hit so hard? Because women are biologically and emotionally wired to seek stability, but it's not just any stability. They CVE a deep emotional security that comes from being with a man who is steady, grounded, and unwavering. You offered that to her, but not in a way that made you dependent on her approval. That balance is rare. And losing it feels like losing solid ground beneath her feet. Here's where the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius shines through. He famously said the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice, by maintaining your composure, by refusing to lash out or seek validation. You aren't looking for revenge. You're showing her and yourself that your worth doesn't hinge on her presence or her actions. This is what makes the shock of losing you so powerful. It's not just the physical absence, it's the emotional void you leave behind. She begins to understand that you were never easily replaceable. Your detachment isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to your strength and the principles you live by. When you walk away, you're making a statement. You refuse to be a puppet controlled by fleeting emotions or external circumstances, and that's a realization that stings for her. The shock isn't just about losing you, it's the painful truth that she's lost a man who had the courage to prioritize his own well-being over the chaos she brought into the relationship. Regret and introspection. Introspection. After the initial shock comes the second wave of emotions, regret and deep introspection. This stage is where the weight of her loss starts to sink in, and she begins to analyze every aspect of your relationship. Women are naturally introspective, often overthinking and re-evaluating their choices. When you walk away, it triggers a switch in her mind. She starts asking herself questions that she may have ignored during the relationship. Why didn't I appreciate him more? Did I push him away with my behavior? Was I too focused on myself to see his value? This regret doesn't appear all at once. At first, it's subtle, like a nagging thought in the back of her mind, but as the days and weeks go by, it intensifies. She replays moments in her head, times when she dismissed your efforts, ignored your needs, or took your presence for granted. The more she reflects, the more she begins to see the role she played in losing you. Marcus Aurelius captured this process perfectly when he wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts in this stage. Her thoughts are consumed by regret. She begins to realize that she had something extraordinary and she let it slip away. But here's the twist. Women are drawn to challenges. When you detach, when you stop seeking her approval, you become a mystery. She wants to solve your absence, creates a space for her to reflect on her actions and question her choices. This introspection can be uncomfortable for her. It forces her to confront parts of herself. She might prefer to ignore her insecurities, her inability to communicate effectively, or her tendency to take things for granted. These aren't easy truths to face, but they're unavoidable when someone of your caliber walks away. Don't be deceived into thinking that all women are immune to this kind of self-reflection, even the most independent self. A assured woman will feel the sting of losing a high-value man. It's not about making her feel bad or seeking validation from her regret. It's about her coming to terms with the reality that her actions have consequences. And for you, this stage is a reminder of your own value. You don't need to chase her or seek closure. Her regret is a natural consequence of losing someone as grounded and purpose-driven as you three. The yearning to reconnect. The next emotional wave she faces is the yearning to reconnect. But this isn't just a casual desire to check in or see how you're doing. It's deeper, more primal, a visceral need to pull you back into her life. When a woman realizes she's lost someone valuable, her instincts kick in. She may start with subtle gestures, a casual text, a comment on your social media, or a seemingly innocent attempt to spark a conversation. These actions aren't random. They're deliberate, calculated moves to gauge where you stand and whether there's a chance to rekindle the connection. But here's the critical part. This yearning isn't just about you, it's about what you represent. You are a source of stability, security, and emotional depth. Losing that creates a void she's desperate to fill. When you remain composed and unmoved by her attempts to reconnect, it only intensifies her desire. She starts to see you in a new light, not as someone who can be easily won over, but as a man who values himself too much to settle. Here's the key. Don't confuse her yearning with genuine change. Often this desire to reconnect is less about rebuilding the relationship and more about reclaiming a sense of control. Women instinctively try to reassert influence when they feel it slipping away. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius applies here again. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength by staying grounded, by refusing to react impulsively. You maintain control over the situation and over yourself. This stage is where many men falter. They mistake her attempts to reconnect as a sign of genuine remorse or change. But as a high-value man, you understand that your worth isn't defined by her validation. You don't settle for half-hearted efforts or superficial apologies. Your detachment isn't about playing games. It's about recognizing your own value and refusing to compromise your principles by staying true to yourself. You send a powerful message. You are not easily swayed, and your emotional well-being is non-negotiable. Dear listeners, we want to use your opinions as guidance for our videos, so you can send us your positive or negative opinions in the comments section. If your opinion about our content is positive, you can write 0, if not 1, in the comments section. I also see that we have new subscribers who have just joined us. We would like to welcome you with a sweet welcome. Can those who have just subscribed write, "I subscribed in the comments section 4. Haunted by memories as time passes. She begins to experience the weight of persistent memories. These aren't just fleeting thoughts or random reminders. They're vivid, unrelenting echoes of the life you once shared. Everywhere she turns, something reminds her of you. A song on the radio, a place you used to visit, or even a phrase you used to say at first. These memories may seem harmless, even nostalgic, but over time they become sharper, more painful. Epictetus. Another great Stoic philosopher advised us to focus only on what we can control. Be indifferent to what is not within your power, while she is consumed by the past, replaying moments and wishing she could change them. You remain grounded in the present for her. These memories aren't just about missing you. They're about realizing what she had and lost. They remind her of the emotional connection you shared, the stability you brought, and the way you made her feel. But here's the harsh truth. She can't recreate those moments. The dynamic you shared, the unique bond you built, it's gone. Memories become a double-edged sword for her. They're a source of comfort, but also a painful reminder of what she'll never have again for you. This stage is liberating. You've learned to let go of the past, to see it as a teacher, rather than a place to dwell. While she's trapped in her cycle of regret and longing, you've moved forward, focused on your growth and purpose. 5. Wrestling with the what-ifs. Wrestling with the what-ifs as the emotional storm rages on, she enters a phase that can be the most torturous of all the relentless cycle of what-ifs. These aren't casual, fleeting thoughts. They're deep, probing questions that keep her awake at night and consume her during quiet moments. What if I had been more patient? What if I had shown him more appreciation? What if I hadn't let my insecurities sabotage something so rare? These questions aren't just musings. They're traps. Her mind replays every moment, dissecting her decisions with the clarity only hindsight can provide. But here's the truth. These what-ifs are nothing more than illusions, imaginary versions of the past that can never be rewritten. The Stoics understood this mental battle all too well. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." These hypothetical scenarios, while vivid and emotionally charged, are empty of any real substance. They don't lead to resolution or growth. They keep her stuck, endlessly replaying the path for her. The what-ifs are both a punishment and a coping mechanism. They allow her to imagine a different outcome, one where she could have kept you in her life, but at the same time they remind her of the reality that she didn't, and now it's too late. What makes this phase so powerful is the contrast between her mental turmoil and your composure while she's caught in a loop of self-doubt and regret. You've already moved forward, you understand that the past is unchangeable, and you refuse to let it. Define your future. This is where your Stoic strength shines brightest. You're not dwelling on the what-ifs or longing for things to be different. You've accepted the reality of the situation and chosen to focus on the present, on your growth, your goals, and your purpose. Her struggle with what-ifs highlights a profound truth. Emotional resilience isn't just about staying strong in the face of adversity. It's about recognizing what's within your control and letting go of what isn't. While she clings to an imagined version of the past, you stand firm in the here and now, unshaken and undeterred, acknowledging your uniqueness. 6. Acknowledging your uniqueness. As the emotional fog begins to lift, she arrives at the most sobering realization of all. You are unique. This isn't a superficial acknowledgement of your qualities or achievements. It's a deep, undeniable truth that she can't escape. You're not just another man, you're irreplaceable. The connection you shared, the stability you offered, the way you carried yourself, it's unlike anything she's experienced before, and it's unlikely she ever will again. At first, she may resist this truth. Pride and ego can be powerful barriers, making it difficult to admit just how significant your presence was in her life. But over time, as she compares her memories of you to her current reality, the contrast becomes impossible. Possible to ignore this stage isn't just about her missing you, it's about recognizing the value of what she lost. It's the realization that your depth of character, emotional stability, and unwavering principles set you apart from every other man she's known. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, understood this concept well. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." For her, the memories of you and the lessons you unintentionally taught her begin to shape her understanding of what she truly values in a partner. But here's the critical part. This realization isn't about boosting your ego. It's about affirming your own worth and understanding the impact of living authentically. Your uniqueness lies in your ability to stay true to yourself, to prioritize your principles over fleeting emotions or temporary desires. This is what makes you different from most men. You don't settle for mediocrity, and you don't compromise your values for the sake of convenience. You've built yourself into a man of integrity, discipline, and emotional intelligence, and that more than anything is what she'll remember. Her acknowledgement of your uniqueness is a testament to the life you've created for yourself. It's a reflection of the discipline, wisdom, and strength that define who you are. 7. The Stoic. The Stoic lesson, detachment as strength lesson. Detachment as strength as she processes the loss. The final lesson becomes clear. Your ability to detach wasn't a weakness, it was your greatest strength. The Stoics believed that emotional detachment wasn't about being cold or unfeeling. It was about maintaining control over your own mind and emotions, refusing to let external circumstances dictate your inner peace. When you chose to walk away, you weren't abandoning her out of anger or spite. You were making a deliberate choice to prioritize your own well-being and stay true to your principles. That's what makes you a high-value man. Epic. Titus. Another Stoic philosopher put it perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction to the challenges in your relationship wasn't to lash out or seek revenge. It was to rise above, to detach with dignity and composure. This is the ultimate form of power, not the ability to control others, but the ability to control yourself. And it's this strength that leaves the deepest impression on her. When she looks back on your relationship, she won't just remember the good times or the emotional connection you shared. She'll remember the man you were. The man who stood firm in his values, who refused to be swayed by fleeting emotions, and who had the courage to walk away when the situation no longer aligned with his principles. Final reflection, heroic warrior. The journey you've taken isn't just about her realizing what she's lost. It's about you recognizing what you've gained. Clarity, strength, and a renewed sense of purpose. The Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus taught us that true power comes from within. It's not about chasing validation or seeking revenge. It's about living with integrity, staying true to your principles and embracing the journey of self-mastery. When you walk away with dignity, you're not just leaving a relationship behind. You're setting a standard for yourself and for those around you. You're proving that your worth isn't determined by someone else's actions or approval. It's defined by the man you choose to be. So heroic, warrior, continue to grow, continue to embody the wisdom of the Stoics, and remember, your path is one of strength, purpose, and unwavering resolve. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Stoic Horology, and hit the notification bell. Together we'll continue walking the path of greatness, one step at a time. The journey to self-mastery has only just begun. Let's walk it together. Goodbye.